will be very saya ni sekejap tonight, sekejap this evening. Sorry, we should use this evening lah. Itu biasa sangat. Alright. So saya cakap good night tu dah bye-bye dah. Dah nak tidur dah. Alright, so this evening topic will be something which is quite related to what we have learned last week. Okay, so last week we have covered on a chapter called World of Words. So this one will be doing on something called the world beyond words. Okay, so the world of word has already been covered in a pre-recorded video last week. Alright, since last week was a holiday, so we have granted all of us some leave. Alright, just I have only provided you with the what you call that pre-recorded lecture and also a bit of exercise to be done on eCampus. Okay, just to highlight you on the exercises on eCampus. Alright, so the exercises actually doesn't carry marks. Alright, it will not. I mean, I'm not going to say that they are not important, but they will not contribute any marks to your ongoing assessment, which is the 100% ongoing assessment. We're going to have a presentation. Alright, one what you call that, case study review written, and also one term paper. The paper will be like a midterm test. Okay, will be a midterm test. Alright, which will be covering all the topic. Alright, that we have learned from our lectures. Okay, so we're gonna have 12 topics, but I'm not gonna say that all of them will come up. Alright, but some of the topics will be covered. Alright, and inshallah I'll be giving you what you call that. I'm gonna give you a hint on which topic will come out so that you can concentrate on only the topics that you have to study. Alright, so but then the assignment on eCampus are still something that I think quite important to get you familiarized with how things are going through the courses. Meaning that apabila kita buat assignment, kita akan submit melalui YouTube, for example. This is important because later on you'll be submitting, apabila kita buat exercise on eCampus, sebagai contoh the last 2 weeks exercise whereby I have asked you to upload a short response on YouTube because later on for your assignment, for your 35% assignment, alright, the task will be record yourself, alright, on a certain topic, alright, and then upload it on YouTube and just send the link on eCampus. Okay, sama juga kalau ada written assignment, alright, that one will help you to maneuver ataupun memberi gambaran kepada assignment yang betul nanti. Alright, the one that will also be 35%. Alright, and then kalau ada macam satu minggu tu saya buat macam quiz suka-suka sikit, 5 question ke 10 question ke, yang very simple. Alright, some of it, alright, will help you to get a clear picture of what you'll be having in your term paper, because we are not going to have final exam. Kita takkan ada final exam atau final assessment, so all of the ongoing marks, alright, will be contributed from these 3. Alright, presentation number 1, alright, and then case study paper, and then term paper ataupun midterm test. Alright, tapi 3 ni saya belum buat lagi ni. Alright, so 3 ni belum buat lagi. Saya akan mula dengan presentation dulu. Alright, the week after next week. Okay, the week after next week. So awalnya next week, but kalau tak sempat next week, kita akan buat the week after next week lah, insyaAllah. Alright, because we are already in week 5, so almost half dah. Masuk week 7 dah half dah. Alright, to cover all the 14 weeks. Okay, alright, enough babbling. Cik Anis pun mungkin tak dapat join kita malam ni. Alright, okay, sorry, saya kena share screen. I'm going to be sharing my screen. Okay, kita buat laju-laju sikit. Nak kejar bola ni, JDT Kedah. Tak gurau je. Alright, alright, okay. So this week we're going to cover the chapter called The World Beyond Words. Alright, so kalau last week we have already covered, alright, the world of words. So this one is world beyond words. Alright, when we look at the term beyond words, okay, dunia di sebalik perkataan. Of course, alright, when we have words, alright, we do communicate with words, alright. Sometimes we do communicate, alright, using method ataupun cara yang doesn't involve words, alright. So basically some of them will be non-verbal communication. So basically word beyond words ni adalah about non-verbal communication. Right? Verbal communication, something which is spoken. Non-verbal communication can be shown through a few features, alright, dalam beberapa bentuk. Alright, so non-verbal communication actually, alright, all aspect of communication other than words. Alright, actually we have almost 65 to 95% of the total meaning of communication are being delivered, disampaikan, alright, melalui semua aspek communication yang sebenarnya tak melibatkan spoken language pun ataupun perkataan sekalipun. Kenapa kita boleh anggap macam tu? Sebagai contoh, kalau mereka yang tidak bernasib baik, bisu, contoh, so they only are gonna concentrating on 100% of non-verbal gestures. Okay, hand gesture boleh, okay, facial expression boleh, alright. But then, some of us are very introvert, for example, okay, maybe we're gonna spend only 15 to 20% of our lifetime speaking, for example. And most of the time, we're gonna avoid ourselves from speaking if it is unnecessary to speak. Okay, some of us are very vocal. Kadang-kadang ramai juga yang suka bercakap, contoh. Okay, so maybe almost 40%, 50% divided, alright? So 50% is gonna be verbal, another 50% will be non-verbal. It depends on your individual characteristic, okay? So in non-verbal communication, okay, benda ni simple lah. Saya rasa semua orang pun pernah go through this kind of lesson. Alright, kalau kita biasa pergi bengkel ke, workshop ke, jati diri ke, camp bina keyakinan or something like that lah throughout our life ni, mesti dia ada topik on verbal and also non-verbal communication. Alright, number one, you're gonna have gestures. Alright, gestures. Ataupun body language lah, kita cakap gesture body language ni lebih kurang lah. The way we show our gesture, hand gesture for example, right? How we use our finger to point to things, how we use our eyes or maybe mouth, kat sana tu, to point to things, right? Alright, not to say that non-verbal communication, alright, doesn't involve 100% words. Sometimes when we utter words, walaupun kita bercakap, alright, the way we speak the words, cara penyampaian kita tu sendiri adalah salah satu bentuk non-verbal communication. Okay, for example, alright, selalunya husband lah, kalau konteks ni husband and wife lah. Saya nak pergi makan kat mana? Ikut awak lah. Okay, memanglah dia suruh ikut kita, but then actually from the tone we know that she is unhappy, or maybe inside her she got somewhere to go, alright, but she is also trying to consider our option, ataupun kan dalam kata bahasa simpelnya mungkin dia tengah merajuk ke or something, alright. So from the tone itself we know that our wife or our husband is not happy or got something playing in their mind, alright. So the way we utter words, cara penyampaian kita tu sendiri mempengaruhi non-verbal communication. Boleh juga diperkatakan sebagai satu bentuk non-verbal communication, alright. And then appearance, alright. Cara kita menyampaikan atau mempersembahkan diri kita, alright. For example, when we go to interviews, for example, kita akan pakai smart, kalau lelaki pakai tie, kasut kulit ada tali, for example, kan. Tali pinggang pun tak pakai lah color coklat ke apa, pakai yang black, standard semua. Okay, and then rambut pendek, sikat rapi. Alright, when we appear like that, people will know that, okay, this is a serious person to be considered. Okay, dia memang betul-betul serious in this interview, determined, come very prepared. Tapi kalau kita pergi pun pakai, budak-budak sekarang kan suka pakai seluar senting, nampak stocking color kuning merah, kasut pun pakai loafers je, tak pakai bukan kasut kulit. Alright, this person doesn't know how to present himself in a professional setting. Alright, so that's it. We will never consider him, ataupun orang macam ni tak payahlah, interview je lah tapi tak dapat dah lagut, for example. So the way we appear also communicate to people, alright, our personality and also how determined we are to get the post, okay, for example. And then facial expression, of course lah, memek muka kita kan, mata kita, alright, the way we mulut kita kumat kamik ke macam mana, something like that, alright, it also carry meanings to everyone that we are communicating with, alright. So there are some similarities, alright, ada persamaan juga. Alright, a few similarities between verbal and non-verbal. Number one, non-verbal communication is symbolic. Alright, kenapa kita panggil dia as symbolic? Because non-verbal communication is very ambiguous, sangat abstract, sangat arbitrary. Arbitrary ni maksudnya dia based on our personal choice. Okay, so symbolicnya non-verbal communication ni is, for example, in the culture of Eskimo, alright, they will always slide their nose together if they meet each other. They greet each other. Orang Eskimo bila jumpa kan, so dulu cikgu suka bagi contoh cara orang Eskimo greet, dia belaga hidung, geser hidung dua. So that is normal in their culture. Alright, maybe kalau kita balik sini tengok orang Melayu greet lelaki sama lelaki ni lain macam macam ni. Alright. So the way we greet people, alright, the way we communicate to greet people is very symbolic. Sangat-sangat the symbol itself carry different meaning. Lain culture, lain caranya, lain pembawaan dan lain definition dia. Okay. Non-verbal communication is rule guided. Of course, alright, whatever we are doing, not just verbal, alright, also in non-verbal communication, it will always be a rule guided communication. Rule ni tak adalah maksudnya ada peraturan ikut akta berapa-apa. No, it's not like that. Cuma for example, when we speak with our parents, alright, the tone of voice will be softer. That is the basic rule of life ataupun the ethical, alright, the ethics that we have been practicing. Alright, so the way we communicate with friends, dia dah ada set of rule dia apa yang kita boleh utter. The way apa yang kita boleh kata. The way we communicate with our superiors ke, dengan boss ke, mesti ada cara dah. The way we communicate with, pakai contoh, cikgu dengan anak murid pun, alright, tak bolehlah terlalu orang cakap lembut sangat, tapi tak bolehlah terlalu garang sangat, tapi kena ada sedikit ketegasan di situ. So it is the way we express our non-verbal communication ni also is rule guided, same with verbal communication. And then non-verbal communication may be intentional or unintentional. Okay, sometimes when something happen yang kita rasa annoyed, tak semena-mena kita buat memek muka ataupun kita ternaik suara, for example. Sometimes it can be very unintentional. Okay, but sometimes kalau nak marah sangat, mulalah kita pun hempas meja ke, for example. We show, sign language ke, for example kan, tunjuk simbol-simbol yang tak sepatutnya pada tangan tu. So those are some of the non-verbal cue yang it is, kalau dah sengaja tunjuk tu, it will be intentional lah. Right? But sometimes kalau kita terkejut, very high tone of voice come out, that one will be unintentional. Okay. And non-verbal communication also reflects culture. Same goes with symbolic over there. Okay. Some culture define something or some way of communicating as very common, sangat biasa. Okay, for example, I got a few Chinese and Indian friend. Okay, the way they speak with their parents, tidaklah kasar, tapi dia macam nyaring sikit, kuat sikit suara dia. Biasa lah India culture. Tapi kalau dalam culture budaya orang Melayu, mungkin kena slow sikit, kena peraluh lah kita kata. Alright, so different culture carry different way of communicating non-verbal and also verbal cues. Okay. And then differences, okay, ada juga perbezaan dia between verbal and non-verbal. Number one, non-verbal communication tends to be perceived as more believable. Apa saja yang ditunjukkan oleh non-verbal cue, alright, selalunya orang akan percaya that one daripada apa yang kita perkatakan, apa yang kita ucapkan. Okay, contohlah, you marah ke I ke? Tak marah pun, kan? Tone voice pun kita tahu ni marah ni. Kalau cakap happy-happy kan, kalau happy sangat kita rasa macam friendly pula kata kan. So the way we communicate tu, nak cakap kita tak marah tu pun, we don't know how to express it in a way that will be acceptable. Alright, because the non-verbal cue, memek muka kita, tone of voice kita, gesture kita will be much more believable, akan lebih dipercayai. Contoh macam orang cakap lah, cakap tak serupa bikin lain, cakap lain lah, macam tu lah sebagai contoh. Alright, and then non-verbal communication is multi-channel. Okay, what do we mean by multi-channel is non-verbal communication ni? Because it is something that we do. Okay, contoh, sometimes apabila kita nak try, apabila kita nak comment, macam mana, bukan nak communicate, apabila kita nak tegur kawan kita kan, kita akan pegang bahu dia. Salim, lama tak nampak, for example. So something that we can feel, actually something that can be felt, something that can be heard. Okay, sometimes contoh appearance, pasal appearance tadi kan, kita selekeh datang, mungkin terlupa nak mandi ke apa, bila bercakap dengan interviewer, gigi lupa nak gosok. Alright, so it can be smelled. So that kind of non-verbal cue indicates that we are a very sloppy person, tak kemas, tak ready and everything. So it communicates your personality to your interviewer, for example. So sebab tu kita cakap non-verbal ni sometimes it can be smelled as well. Okay, and then non-verbal communication is non-verbal communication is continuous. Alright, kenapa ia continuous? When we speak, okay, verbal communication, alright, kita cakap something, kita akan stop. Ali, aku lapar lah, stop. Jom pergi makan, stop. Nak makan kat mana? Stop, for example, alright. But then non-verbal communication, alright, it will be continuous. Alright, susah kita nak adjust ataupun susah kita nak identify which one is the starting point ataupun the stopping point. For example, kalau dah start tu, Ali, jom pergi makan, kita cakap stop, tapi our facial gesture, mimik muka kita, kepala kita ni menunjukkan yang kita tengah proses mana nak pergi makan ni, for example. Alright, but kita takkan, Ari, jom pergi makan, muka blank. It will never be like that. Alright, jaranglah ada muka orang yang muka blank selenge ni, orang katakan. Whatever that you have uttered, alright, your gesture will show that you are still thinking of it, you are still deciding of it, ataupun you are still considering it. Okay, alright. Next, principle of non-verbal communication. Apa principle non-verbal communication ni? Alright, number one, non-verbal communication may supplement or replace verbal communication. Okay. Alright, so non-verbal communication ni ia boleh menggantikan, alright, ataupun melengkapi, alright, menggantikan ataupun melengkapi verbal communication. Alright, kenapa? Non-verbal behavior, alright, it may repeat verbal messages. Okay, sebagai contoh, you might say yes while nodding your head. Alright, so whatever that you have uttered, apa yang dah disebut, alright, will be followed by non-verbal cues as well. Okay, secondly, non-verbal behavior may highlight verbal communication. Okay, for example, you can emphasize particular words by increasing your volume. Okay, so apabila kita cakap tentang sesuatu, okay, apabila ada satu-satu point tu yang kita rasa penting, yang kita betul-betul nak highlight, sometimes kita akan spend a lot of time in that particular words, ataupun kita akan increase our volume, alright, ataupun kita akan highlight, okay, that particular word as being very important. Ataupun kalau kita tunjuk dekat slide, for example, kita akan point our hand over there, ataupun kita akan boldkan perkataan tu. So those are some of the non-verbal thing, alright, that you can do to highlight ataupun nak sokong, alright, verbal communication yang kita deliver sebentar tadi. Alright. Number 3, we use non-verbal communication to complement or to add to words, alright, untuk melengkapi ataupun menambah kepada perkataan. When you see a friend, okay, for example, you might say, I'm glad to see you, and underline the verbal message with a warm embrace. Senyum, muka ada senyum, tangan ada salam, for example, sekarang ni bawa ke chest lah. Okay, muka senyum, tangan buat ke chest, alright. So that we show that you are not just uttering, bukan kita cakap je kita suka jumpa dia, tapi kita pun tunjuk bahawa kita suka jumpa dia, alright. Tapi kalau kita I'm glad to see you dengan suara pun endah tak endah, lepas tu mata pun tak ada eye contact, okay, so nampak sangat kita ni macam betul ke tak dia ni kan, ikhlas ke tak ni, alright. So the cues over there that follow, non-verbal cues yang follow kepada verbal cues tu, it will not just complement, bukan saja melengkapkan, alright, malah ia turut menambah kepada message yang kita deliver tu, alright. Number 4, non-verbal communication may contradict verbal message, alright. Okay, sometimes what I've mentioned just now, it will add and complement, but sometimes ia juga akan be contradict ataupun going against, alright, ataupun tidak kena ataupun tidak selari dengan verbal message kita tu. Okay, for example, ni selalu girlfriend boyfriend lah, awak okay ke? Tak ada apalah, semua okay, nothing's wrong, in a hostile tone of voice. Okay, so people will know that, okay, whatever you say doesn't align with your facial expression and also with your tone of voice. Okay, and last but not least, we sometimes substitute non-verbal behavior for verbal one. Okay, for example, you might point to the left when asked to give direction. Sometimes, okay, bila orang tanya kita tak cakap, cik boleh tunjuk saya toilet gimana? Cik pusing kiri, nampak pintu, masuk kanan balik, ada pintu biru pula tu, itulah tu. Sometimes malas sangat nak cakap ataupun terlalu unfriendly, terlalu introvert, we will just point the way. Alright, ataupun kalau bahasa budak mudanya kerek kan, toilet kat mana, tunjuk aja. Alright, so it will substitute, alright, the verbal behavior. Alright, the verbal behavior atau verbal words that you should have uttered. Okay. Alright, non-verbal communication may regulate interaction. Alright, may regulate interaction berarti dia juga boleh memberi hala tuju ataupun memberi guide. Okay, dia nak guide kita punya interaction tu. Sometimes using non-verbal communication. Alright. Kenapa kita cakap non-verbal communication ni boleh regulate interaction? sebagai contoh, alright, when we are interacting with our friends, okay, macam saya tengah cakap dengan you all lah, okay, saya pam, okay, Cik Azwan cakap pula, Cik Azwan okay, Cik ni cakap pula, Teacher Rai cakap pula, saya takkan saya every time saya habis cakap dan saya nak suruh cakap, saya akan point macam tu. Alright, so it doesn't have to be, it's your turn to talk. Or you hold up a sign saying, okay, I have finished speaking. Next, please, for example. Tak adalah macam tu. Ini tak adalah macam muat session kan. Kita pun, okay, can you please give your opinion? Tidaklah macam tu all the time. Alright. Instead, turn taking in conversation ni, alright, usually is regulated non-verbally. Okay, for example, we signal that we don't want to be interrupted with our eyes or maintaining a speaking volume and rate that discourage interaction. Kita tengah cakap something yang sangat important right now. Okay, so when we speak, kita punya eye contact tu sangat, you want to get yourself interacted with all of your audience, alright? And then you always highlight on your point. Ini dalam discussion lah, for example. Okay, jangan cakap kalau dalam public speaking tu lain lah, memang kita seorang cakap. But when in a group discussion or in a meeting, alright, when we are expressing our point, semangat ni, cakap pun mata, tengok sana sini, gesture ada, dekat certain point pun kita highlight, alright. So it indicates that we don't want to be interrupted. Kita tak nak diganggu selagi kita tak habis point kita. Alright. When we are through talking, apabila dah habis dia cakap, maybe we can look to others to signal, okay, now somebody else can speak. Ataupun selalunya kita akan cakap, alright, in my opinion, alright, I think that's all. Alright, I hope that all of you will consider my opinion. Okay, so a bit of pause kat situ menunjukkan yang awak dah tak ada apa dah cakap ataupun your turn is done. Alright, akan bagi next one ataupun another person will continue to speak or continue the session. Okay, so there's no such thing as, maksudnya kalau dalam daily conversation takkan ada silakan cakap pula, tengah minum kopi, minum teh tarik ni, aku dah cakap habis dah, kau pula, takkanlah macam tu pula kan, mesti tak ada. Okay. Alright, non-verbal communication often establishes relationship level meaning. Okay, di mana, alright, apabila kita, sama juga macam verbal communication, non-verbal communication pun, we want to be responsive, kita nak ada respon. Alright, we want to be like, okay, ataupun liking. Alright, we want people to prefer to talk to us. Alright, kalau non-verbal kita pun, kita cakap dengan orang, mata kita melilau tempat lain, for example. Ataupun bila orang cakap dengan kita, we don't pay attention. Alright. So it seems as we don't want people to like us, right? And sometimes we also want to indicate power. Apabila kita bercakap dengan tone ataupun nada yang tinggi, kita highlight certain words, okay, kita pun dengan penuh perasaan, gesture, hand gesture, facial expression, right? We want to dominate the conversation, alright? So we want to indicate power in that particular conversation, alright? Number 4, alright, the next principle, non-verbal communication reflect and expresses cultural value. Sama macam contoh yang saya cakap tadi, alright, yang pasal Eskimos, they what you call it, they touch their noses when they want to greet each other. Right, sama juga macam New Zealand Maori, for example, apabila dia jumpa, okay, they hold hand like that and then they make contact with their forehead and also their nose, alright, to indicate that this is the cultural way of greeting another Maori guy or Maori lady, for example. Okay, and then okay, tadi kita go into principle. Right now we are going into types of non-verbal communication. Jenis-jenis non-verbal communication. Okay, bear in mind sebagaimana yang saya dah sebut sebelum ni. Okay, interpersonal communication and also all the concepts, alright, principle and types of interpersonal communication are actually something that we have done daily. Benda yang kita dah buat seharian, alright. It's just that right now we want to identify what are the terms, what are the names, alright? Are we using it in the right way? If you're not using it in the right way, how should we use it? Alright, okay. So the first type of non-verbal communication, we call it as kinesics, alright? Ataupun body position and also body motion, alright? So kinesics here indicates your body position and body motion. Alright, when you are in a meeting ataupun keluar lepak kan, kalau kita duduk pun ke bawah je, mata tak pay attention, okay, melilau, main phone, alright, meaning that we are not interested in the conversation. Tapi kalau kita duduk tegak, alright, we can see the speaker, we interact as well, we answer question, we also ask some question. So it indicates that we are very attracted to the conversation and we want to be involved in that conversation. Okay. The second type is what we call haptics. Alright, haptics or the use of touch. Okay, use of touch. Alright, so cara kita menggunakan sentuhan. Alright, non-verbal communication yang seterusnya adalah sentuhan. Okay, take for example. Okay, selalunya not just in Western culture. This is an example of Western culture. Tapi saya pun banyak observe in our culture as well, in our local culture. People with high status, they touch others and invade others' space more. Sebagai contoh, kita sebagai pekerja biasa dan majikan kita ataupun manager kita, supervisor kita ke for example kan, kita selalu pergi ke tempat anak buah ke, pergi ke tempat pekerja yang di bawah kita dan we always go and check their work, right? We always go and ask how they are doing, sihat ke macam mana hari ni, husband okay ke, wife okay ke, anak-anak okay ke, alright? Not to say that they are invading our space, macam tidaklah maksudnya dia menceroboh space kita tu. Cuma they are the one who will always come to our space. Kita ni siapa nak pergi office dia, Assalamualaikum Tuan Haji, Assalamualaikum Datuk, Datuk sihat ke? All of the sudden lain lah kalau kita memang rapat. Tapi most of the time it will never be like that. Usually something with a higher status or more power ataupun more authority, they will come or they will invade our space. Not invade in the wrong way, but they will always come and also be in our space in order to ask things ke, saja nak tegur ke, saja nak monitor ke the way we work. Okay, and then physical appearance. Okay, this one is quite similar to the first point of appearance that I've mentioned just now. Alright, I just want to take another example. Alright, this is an example from the one of the African communities. I'm not sure in which country. I think it's maybe Nigeria. Okay, thinness in women is not prized or encouraged in all culture and social communities. Kebanyakan culture, kebanyakan community menganggap being thin ataupun ramping ataupun kurus ni is something that is very prized, sangat diidam-idamkan dan menunjukkan kecantikan. But then in traditional African societies, full-figured body are perceived as symbolizing health, prosperity and also wealth. Alright, seorang wanita yang full-figured ni maksudnya sihat lah. Sihat lah, tak nak lah pakai term yang tak okey kan. Dia maksudnya sihat bukannya sihat yang cergas. Sihat yang sihat lah, sihat yang nampak cukup makannya, nampak cukup pakannya, nampak dijaga dengan betul kan. Menunjukkan bahawa this lady is the one that you should get married with because she belongs to a very good family or wealthy family. Hidup dia tak susah, makannya sedap sampai dia boleh capai bentuk badan yang macam tu. Alright, so it is quite different from what we are looking at when we are looking at ladies. Alright, soalnya kena kurus lah for example. Okay, tapi tak semua, mungkin ada je masyarakat kita yang menganggap having a big extra size ni is very cute for example. Okay, ataupun size or appearance doesn't matter. Itu paling penting. Size and appearance doesn't matter as long as you know how to carry yourself or how to show yourself, present yourself. Okay. And then the next one is artifact. Apa benda artifact ni? Tinggalan sejarah ke? No, alright. Artifact is more of the personal object that signal our identity. Okay, for example, art lovers, okay, pecinta seni. Alright, they're gonna have their house decorated with painting, okay, sculpture, ada lukisan, ada ukiran, ada bunga-bunga, ada benda-benda yang arts lah, orang cakap. So these art objects indicate what kind of person or personality he is. Okay, mungkin is a very tidy person, a very neat person, creative person, for example. Okay, and then religious family often express their commitment by displaying pictures of holy scene from the Bible. For example, kalau Kristian adalah gambar-gambar from the Bible sebagai contoh, the Last Supper ke, Jesus ke for example kan. And then kalau untuk kita Muslim, dalam rumah kita akan adalah gambar-gambar ayat-ayat suci Al-Quran, Kaabah. Tapi selalunya kalau budaya kita benda tu biasalah. In fact, we need to have that in our houses, okay, to prevent bad things from happening. Okay, but then kalau when we look at kalau kita tengok cerita-cerita Hollywood lah, when we look at Hollywood movies, alright, so when you wear a necklace, a cross necklace, pakai rantai yang ada cross tu, ada salib tu, oh ni religious ni. For example, they don't take that as a very common thing to be worn. Okay, benda tu tak biasa untuk dipakai, hanya orang yang selalu, because they are very open. Alright, when they say that their child or themselves haven't been baptized, dia akan cakap. Kalau cakap dia bukan orang alim, I'm not a person who goes to church, saya tak pergi church, for example. Not to say that they are atheists, bukannya dia tak percaya Tuhan. Dia percaya je Jesus and everything, but then dia memang tak semayang ke, ataupun dia tak rely 100% on religion lah, for example. Okay, for example, some of the objects that usually we have, kalau in our culture ataupun kalau senang kita tengok budak-budak lah, ada dia punya bantal busuk, ada dia punya Barbie doll, ada dia punya Power Rangers ke, for example. So those things indicate their personality. Contoh kalau macam anak-anak yang suka main puzzle ke, akan ada sentiasa bawa puzzle, for example. Indicates their creativity, for example. Kalau parent-parent, kalau pun kita lelaki ni yang suka satu-satu fanatik lah orang kata tim bola sepak tu, adalah merchandise, muffler ke, cap ke, jerseys ke, t-shirts ke. So those are artifacts, okay. And then environmental factors, element of a setting that affect how we feel, okay. The environmental factors ni, for example, kita boleh lihat in fast food restaurant. Alright, fast food restaurant. Okay, how fast food restaurant, the element in the fast food restaurant, alright, they are non-verbally communicating something to us, and it has affected how we feel. Secara tersiratnya, non-verbally ada something yang need that is being communicated kepada kita, and it will, how you say this, influence our mood ataupun apa yang kita rasa. Okay, fast food restaurants, the environment, they encourages customers to eat quickly and move on. Contoh McD Tanah Merah lah kalau sekarang ni, selalu kat lah saya pergi pada dekat Angelie, masuk McD, okay, dah scan apa semua, ambil nombor, order dekat mesin, bayar pun dekat situ juga, lepas tu tunggu, lepas tu ambil tapau, okay balik, ataupun drive thru je paling mudah, okay. Order, makanan semua dah siap, dia pun dah siap buat dah makanan apa semua, mungkin dia heated a bit, alright, and then pack, and then bagi, and then balik. Walaupun kita makan kat situ pun, alright, the way we buy the food and then we got served, okay, kena ambil kat kaunter, datang, okay, makan, kena kemas sendiri, kena buang dalam dia punya tong sekarang ni, they will not gonna take care of it anymore for you, alright. So the environment itself indicates that, okay, this is a fast food restaurant, so you buy your food, you eat faster, and then you leave, give chance for other people to come in, alright. Ataupun this is a fast lane fast food restaurant, alright, you don't have to queue, you don't have to come in, you don't have to leave your car, go through the drive-thru, alright, order, pay, get your food, and then get lost, alright. In contrast, alright, berbanding dengan fine dining, alright, restaurant ataupun expensive 5-star restaurant kind of hotel, for example, alright, they encourages longer stay, alright. Kita masuk, okay, excuse me, sir, alright, so do you have reservation for how many people? Okay, please follow me. So this is your table, duduk, okay, setting dulu, letak napkin and everything, okay, baru nak letak cutlery, so apa nama, di what you call that, fork and spoon and knife and everything baru nak susun. Lepas tu ada pula pinggan, ada cup lah, ada glasses and everything, alright. So kalau restoran yang western sikit, yang non halal, okay, akan survey dulu what kind of liquor, arak apa nak minum, alright. And then ada hantar makanan pun, portion pun, alah kan, salmon, alah satu slice, alah kuah sikit apa semua, okay, makan. Okay, order dessert pula, sebenarnya tak puas, order pula dessert, okay, tambah pula air. So they encourage you to stay more, indirectly they are encouraging you to stay more. Dan kalau dah stay more, of course lah, you will order more. For example, kan, mesti nak order lagi, yang berduit lah kan, nak order lagi, duduk lagi, okay, dah habis, dah boring sangat dah, baru kita akan keluar masa bayar tu, ya Allah mahalnya, for example. Alright, so this kind of environmental factor will affect how we feel, the mood that we are having. Alright, and then proxemic and also personal space. Alright, this is also a technical form that you use about space. Okay, this is quite different from haptics. Okay, haptics kan tadi, haptics. Okay, haptics. Alright, also about space, but this one is usually how you manage your physical space, jarak kita dengan orang. Selalunya kalau kita ni a bit introvert, kita akan cuba to stay away from unknown people, for example. Tapi kalau kita ni extrovert, talkative, for example, okay, kita akan, macam contoh, nak naik bas kan, orang bosan lah duduk tempat single, cari tempat yang dua, for example, kan, dulu zaman study, nak duduk bas yang ada 2 seat lah, mana tahu duduk dengan awet, for example, contoh. Alright, so proxemics and how you utilize your personal space is also a type of non-verbal communication. Okay. Next, chronomics. Alright, how we use time. Okay. Chronomics ni is a bit bagi saya sangat unik actually. Alright, chronomics is very unique because it indicates how you utilize time. Okay, the way you utilize time bukannya sejam untuk makan ke, it's not like that. Alright, proximate in non-verbal communication. Alright, usually the example indicated by the book is usually related to the Western culture. Tapi saya rasa in our Malaysian and also Eastern culture pun applicable, sama je. Alright, for example, apabila kita ada meeting ataupun apabila contoh cikgu nak masuk kelas ataupun saya nak masuk kelas kan. Contoh saya nak masuk kelas tadi, saya masuk je masa tu teacher dah ada. Maksudnya the students will wait for the lecturer or their teacher. Bila kita masuk meeting, okay, kita ni pegawai biasalah, kita punya ketua pegawai ke, ketua pengarah ke, ketua KSU ke, something lah kami. Alright, usually we will be the one, alright, who will be utilizing the time to wait for them. Okay, so in other words, important people with high status, they can keep others waiting. Whereas, okay, di mana low status people are expected to be punctual. Kita yang low status ni, kita yang kena punctual and wait for high status people to appear. So that is chronomics, how you utilize time. Okay, and then we have paralanguage. Of course, paralanguage ni the sound, right, vocal quality, the volume, your pitch. Okay, those are non-verbal cues as well. Okay, I love you. Bukan I love you. Tu macam annoying pula kan. Makan apa? Ikut abang lah makan apa. Yang okey je. Yang ikut je abang makan apa yang abang favorite. Yang favorite ke? Ikut lah. KFC lah tu. McD lah tu. Tak apalah, ikut lah. So the pitch, the vocal quality, alright, the choice of words are also non-verbal cues, alright. And then of course last one, silence lah. Ultimate one. Silent treatment kita panggil, alright. Tak cakap apa ni can carry a lot of meaning. Kadang-kadang diam tanda setuju, kadang-kadang diam tanda marah, kadang-kadang diam tanda benci. It can carry a lot of meaning when you stay silent. Okay? Alright, social media and non-verbal communication. Previously, before this, alright, we think that we are being restricted in the digital context. Sebelum-sebelum ni lah. But then when the pandemic struck, kita pun dah ada Zoom, dah ada Google Meet, dah ada Webex and everything, dah selalu guna WhatsApp video call. Kalau pakai iPhone tu panggil apa? Apa tak kalau panggil iPhone? Something like that lah. Video call kan. So nowadays we are not like being too restricted. It's just that the restriction usually happen maybe because of the connection ataupun because of the device. Kadang-kadang line tak okay, tak nampak facial expression kita ataupun facial expression kita ni lambat. Kadang-kadang kita gelak muka duk static. Lepas tu bila gelak tu dah habis baru nampak muka duk senyum. Alright, usually it is because of the device and also the connection. Alright, and then the size of our electronic footprint. Alright, electronic footprint ni how much you post and comment on social media. Alright, so usually whatever it is that you put, whatever it is that you have commented on social media, alright, it will always be there. Okay, it will always be there. Kalau kita delete hilang macam mana pun, boleh detect, boleh cari, ada balik. Alright, there are features lah di mana orang boleh detect balik apa yang kita dah comment sebelum tu. Alright, because whatever it is, bagi saya, okay, whatever it is that we have put non-verbally, alright, sometimes it is also the same with what we have uttered verbally. Contoh, kita condemn Jana ni menang LPPH berapa juta atas apa kita panggil undi. The vote, right? Millions of vote, kita cakap apalah. Kita cakap kat dia pun sama je. Alright? Nampakkan yang kebencian dan juga tidak matangan kita lah comment something like that. Buat apa nak comment kan? Kita tulis pun sama je. It will always be there. It will never be removed. Okay, and it will also send the same meaning. Alright, but then sometimes kita tak fikir, we don't know what it is actually that we are typing. Alright, because we cannot utter it, so when we type, usually it will be quite a lot actually. Alright, okay, so be careful on whatever it is that you are posting on your social media. And then it can also, alright, just like the first point, alright, social media can also now help compete or interfere with face-to-face communication. Right? So nowadays kita dah tak perlu pergi jauh-jauh untuk meeting, kita dah tak perlu pergi jauh-jauh untuk interview, kita dah tak perlu pergi jauh-jauh just to meet and greet, for example. It can also be done in the online platform Google Meet macam ni, which is very good actually for us. For example, for you guys, very flexible when you are learning. Kadang-kadang hari Khamis, family from all over Malaysia gather online, baca Yasin, something like that, right? Then alumni, for example, ataupun group of people, ada usrah lah, ustaz ni buat, jom kita join lah. Okay, ni Google Meet punya link, boleh buat macam tu, alright? So we are now in the process of moving into that, alright? So non-verbal and verbal communication can also be digitalized. Right, so these are some guidelines to improve your non-verbal communication. Number one, monitor your non-verbal communication as much as you monitor your verbal communication. Whatever it is that you are uttering, that you are speaking, make sure it comes from your head and then it, alright, before it come out your mouth. Sama juga, whatever it is that you are showing, alright, that you are implying on your gestures, that you are implying on your tone, make sure you think of the impact first before you deliver it, alright? And then interpret others non-verbal communication tentatively, alright? Apabila kita interpret orang lain punya non-verbal communication, it will be based on personal qualification whereby some gesture might share different meaning to different people. Alright, so try not to be too rigid ataupun too restricted ataupun too close-minded. Be open-minded. Okay, kalau kita nampak for example benda macam saya cakap tadi lah, janganlah rasa pelik sangat. Mungkin that is their culture. If we see it outside, kalau nampak depan mata kita, depan kebimo duk laga hidung tu pelik sangat lah tu. Cakap tanya kecek Kelantan pula, alamak, ni jam lah ni. Alright, but then interpret it based on culture and also your personal justification. Alright, and also based on contextual qualification. Alright, kalau awak pergi North Pole, nampak orang Eskimo buat macam tu, janganlah tegur dia, you, are you gay? Alright, because that is their culture. The context over here right now is their culture and also their place of origin. Kalau benda ni jadi kat Malaysia, kat Kelantan, in front of us, depan KBMO, this is our context, this is our culture, so that one will be interpreted as wrong ataupun quite, it is not right to be done in public lah, for example. Okay? Alright. Okay, done with this one. Alright, this is a very simple and straightaway topic. Okay, any question? Any question before I proceed with your exercise? Ada exercise sikit. Tak ada langsung. Any question? Anyone would like to respond? Okay, boleh ke saya nak tanya, can I ask you if you have any experience of non-verbal cues that you seem very peculiar? Bila tengok je non-verbal cue ni rasa macam pelik lah. Apa yang dia buat dia sebenarnya? Ada any experience on that? Ataupun something yang sebenarnya jadi tapi kita tak sedar pun benda tu actually very unique, for example. Anyone would like to share?
Boleh, sir.
Boleh? Ustaz Zuan, boleh?
Saya biasa kena dengan my boss.
Okay.
Bila dia suruh satu-satu kerja, contoh pukul 9 pagi dia suruh.
Okay.
Kita tak buat dalam tempoh 2 jam, dia buat sendiri. Itu tandanya kita ni seorang yang lambat bekerja. Jadi kita tahu dia ni tak suka kita buat lambat.
Kalau dia suruh dia nak kita buat.
Dia nak cepat.
Segera lah nak cepat.
Nak cepat dan dia nak comel tu.
Dia tak cakap pun dia nak dalam 2 jam
tak
kan?
Ada. Tapi kita punya terasa tu dalam tu.
Sampai ketulah kan? Betul. Alright, okay. Some people are like that, betul. Sangat betul. Alright. What about the ladies? Ada experience yang best-best ke boleh share kita? Kita ada 4 orang je. Saya teacher boleh share. Manager Janah pun boleh share ni. What about, okay. Saya bagi satu situation, contoh lah kan. Pernah ke ada situation at your workplace, for the ladies lah especially kan. Sometimes your colleague ni, senang cerita guys lah, dia rasa benda ni biasa. Tapi bagi kita ladies, kita rasa benda ni very abusive ataupun sikit lagi nak ke arah sexual abuse. Ada tak pernah experience something like that? Kalau boleh share dengan kita. Teacher An ke? Madam Jannah? Tak kisahlah kalau bukan tempat kerja pun mungkin masa pergi shopping ke, makan ke for example. Hello, are you there?
Ya, tak tahu, tak ada lah pun.
Tak ada Abang Jannah tak ada experience macam tu. Teacher An ada experience macam tu?
Tak ada juga.
Tak ada juga kan?
So far tak ada lah.
Kalau saya for example kadang ada lady punya colleague ni, kadang dia rasa benda tu normal tapi kita takut, bukannya kita rasa kita kena abuse, tapi kita takut benda tu tak normal untuk orang lain tengok. For example kan, gelak tu sampai bertepuk bertampar, mungkin it shows that we are good friend ataupun good colleague for example, tapi when people see it nampak macam tak comel lah orang kata kan. So this kind of novel accuse ni sometimes it happen, macam saya cakap tadi, it happen without intention, tak sengaja pun mungkin kita buat sangat lawak sampai tertepuk tertampar kita. So sometimes apa benda, apa saja, not just what we said, what we do also must be monitored lah, macam tu lah. Alright, okay, so let me share to you one, macam saya cakap tadi lah, ni task je sebenarnya, tak adalah something yang very heavy. So I'm not going to say that okay I want this next week apa, but throughout the course cuba lengkapkan juga, okay, buat juga. Alright, along the way saya akan check lah dah buat ke belum, dan saya akan tanya dah buat ke belum, bila nak siapkan, itu je lah. Okay, tak adalah nak serius sangat macam budak tak hantar kerja sekolah kan, tapi still it is our responsibility as postgraduate student, orang cakap belajar cara dewasa ataupun cara adult learning. Okay, sekejap Alright, going. Okay, later on, okay, saya akan upload this lecture. Okay, saya stop record lah sebab dah tak ada lecture dah yang ni. Sekejap